Episode 2, Ready to Love Philly. Okay, all right, look, first, I want to go on record and say last week I was really up in arms about Naeem. I was like, look, if you got 5 babies, sir, some of those pregnancies had to overlap, but I take that all back because somebody commented in my comments and said that the oldest child was 17. Um, and I did see another interview and I looked at his Instagram and I do take that back. However, he still has 5 kids with three baby mothers. I think the youngest might be 8. So it ain't no babies, but he used the word babies and I took him literally. Okay. So that's on me. I'll take that back. All right. But in saying that, I saw an interview that he did. I think the podcast name was East Your Heart Out Podcast. Okay. And this interview was very entertaining, and a lot came out in that interview. If you're a Ready to Love fan and you know what to look for, um, it's not like it's no secret or whatever. But I watched it all the way through because I'm a Ready to Love fan, and he was on the show, and I wanted to hear what he had to say. I think it was a good interview. Of course, they called him. You know what I mean? And honestly, that might not be a bad thing in certain cases because if they called him to come be on the show, that means he wasn't looking to be on TV, right? The opportunity presented itself, and then he took advantage of it. However, because they went to get him, that kind of plays into his personality to me, but. Anyway, so they filmed in June, July, and August. So it was hot as hell. All right. And so I was interested in that because I was like, we never really know when these shows are filmed. But I do got to give him props because he watched the show. He watched some of the shows after he got on it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand people who don't want to watch it before they get on it. You might get into something that you regret. Like, come on. I need y'all to start looking. You know what I'm saying? Um, but anyway, he did say the reunion was spicy. Other than that, I'm gonna let y'all watch the video for everything else he did. He was very open. It seemed like he really enjoyed himself on the show. So that's what I'm saying. Like they came to get him, so he is probably giving his genuine self, even though he might be a walking red flag while he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? He still gave his real self. So I gotta give him props for that. All right. So but it was a bunch of interesting things that came out about him in that interview. So definitely check out East Europe Heart Out podcast. Okay. Now on to the episode. Okay, this is episode 2, and I know that it's so excruciating to have to sit through one episode per mixer. You know what I mean? But like for those of you who never watched Ready to Love before, maybe you just joined in the last few seasons. Where they start doing these 2 mixers. It wasn't always that way, but a lot of people were complaining that everybody should be able to meet everybody, and sometimes the people who got voted off early will come on interviews and then they would say that they didn't even meet all of the cast. So it was like, well, what were they on the show for? So this is their effort to do that, I guess. So, last time nobody went home because Tommy threw his first curveball of the season right out the gate, and Sahara and Will got to go to the second mixer to meet the other singles ahead of the other 10. Okay. So, anyway, I forgot to also talk about Angie snatching the bouquet last episode. Like, listen, I done been to so many weddings and I've been in so many weddings and I have caught a couple of bouquets. However, it got to come straight to me for me to catch it. Like, I can't. That right there, Angie really wanted that jump, okay? But the playback wasn't, it was not cute. I would have been like, oh my God. Anyway, this week we meet the second group of singles, all right? And so we got Coley, who is a flight attendant, and she is 32, all right? So then we got Fritz is 36. I feel like Fritz is giving really genuine. Then we got Francisco, who is 42. Now, Francisco is one part of the podcast that I was telling y'all about last week. They just dropped their first episode last week, and the podcast is called Toxic Perspective. Now, I know what you're saying. Why would you name your podcast Toxic Perspective? I said the same thing, but it was actually a great episode, okay? They have a sister on there that's hosting with them, and I'll let you know who the second person is momentarily. But check them out if you're interested. I'm not sure if they're going to be reviewing the show, but so far they got a couple of episodes up, and it's about good. It's about there is two good conversations. Okay, and I think Hussein, who we're going to also meet in this episode, is on their second episode. So check them out. Then we got Tay. I like Tay, y'all. Tay got some really good energy. She's 35. Cam is a firefighter. He's 33. He is the other half of the podcast with Francisco. Okay, so Cam and Cisco have a podcast together called Toxic Perspective. Anyway, then we got Rocky. Okay, her name is Raquel. They call her Rocky for short. She's 36. Rocky is cool and laid back, but again, she kind of fits in the category with Sahara. She's too laid back. She's too down to earth. She's too. Okay, those kind of cool chicks don't last long on the show, so we will see what happens this season. Then we got Khalil, who's 31. He seems genuine to me also. And then we have Hussein. Hussein is 42. He was on the last episode of Cam and Cisco's podcast this week. And he is 6'7". Okay. Anyway, then we got Rose, who is 38. She's a hairstylist. And then we got Shanice, who's 44. And I wrote down beside her name, Lady with the Gloves. Like, listen, it was June, July, and August. We just found out that they was filming in June, July, and August. And she is wearing gloves that come up to her armpits. Okay. Listen, I'm not saying she wasn't looking cute. I'm just saying, why are your palms sweaty, ma'am? Anyway, whatever. All right. So those are the people who have just joined. I got to say, I am loving Tay's energy, and I feel like, this extra 10 people are going to bring some spice to the cast that we already have once they start mixing and mingling, okay? And we get to see who is vibing with who and stuff like that. But I feel like this is a good group. The second group is a pretty good group. So so they have this mixer, and Will and Sahara show up, start mingling. Sahara wore a love potion. Now, I just want to know how far we going with this. Like, I feel like I'm scared now. Like, is she at home casting spells and stuff every time before she come film? Like, what? I don't know what we're doing here, but I guess we'll see. Okay. But so far, I feel like we got a couple people that clicked. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to be a couple, but I feel like they had a connection or they clicked, right? Cam and Sahara definitely clicked, okay? And then Rose and Hussein, I feel like they clicked. I feel like Cisco and Shanice clicked a little bit. Rocky and Khalil, they clicked so much that he only really got to talk to her. And then Tay and Cisco, I feel like they clicked. I feel like Rose and Cam also clicked. So, we'll see. Anyway, Tommy shows up and he gives his Tommy speech and lets them know that two people are going to be eliminated. And so they're still mixing and mingling. Did anybody else notice the Target Black History Month commercials they kept playing, or was it just me? I was like, okay, Target don't want to be boycotted, but I don't know. It just stood out to me. Anyway, Will's still laughing. Will's still not really able to connect. Okay, he's just coming off just awkwardly. Okay, Sierra. Why am I calling her Sierra? Sahara got an orange flag. I forgot who she was talking to, but she was talking about the flat earth theory. And I'm like, girl, you on a show today. Why are y'all talking about that? What are you doing? You about to get cut again? You just got cut last night. You cannot afford to be talking about the flat earth theory. Anyway, she didn't get cut though. So, I don't know. Tommy comes back to talk to the group. The men really love Tay. They love Rose, and they like Rocky as well. They don't really like Coley, Sahara, and Shanice. Well, they weren't really feeling them. So then the women, they love Fritz. They love Cisco. Hussein's name came up. I think Cam's name came up as well. But the people who they were not vibing with was Khalil. Poor Khalil, the only reason they wasn't vibing with him is because he was talking to Rocky the whole time. And, of course, Will. Will is the one that goes home between Khalil and Will, okay? Khalil deserves another chance because he was actually, talking to somebody and they liked him or whatever. I think a lot of other people would like him too. But Will goes home, and Tommy announces that he was already cutting the previous mixer. So then they do the women that were in the bottom. Coley and Shanice were in the bottom. Okay, and so obviously Coley gets cut, but then he gives her another chance because he just sat there and said that Will got a second chance. So anyway, so she told him not to waste her time if he told her, like, he was like, what if I tell you you get another chance, yada yada, and she said don't waste my time. And then he told her it was like 10 more singles or something like that, or 8 more singles or something, but he didn't say men specifically. He included men and women. I was like, that's kind of misleading, but we'll see if she is able to connect with somebody, because I don't know whether they're showing her as being superficial or if she really is coming off like that. So I don't know, but the next episode is when the groups meet. So in saying that, I was looking at the website for the cast, and they be messing up sometimes. Sometimes they be having people's picture up there twice, and they got Cisco's picture up there twice in place of a picture of Hussein. I'm gonna need on to get it fixed, because then they got the picture up there twice, but then they have the job titles separately. So anyway, whoever's doing that needs to fix it. But what are y'all thoughts on this season so far? It's only been 2 episodes. Is it lackluster for you? Are you happy with the cast that you're seeing? If you're from Philly, what do you think about the people that are on the show? Like, who is really Philly? Right now, I think that only Sahara is the only one that's giving me a actual Philly vibe, right? Some of the words that they're saying do give me the Philly vibe, but somebody that embodies the persona is definitely got to be Sahara, okay? But next week, the women have the power next week. So who y'all think going home next week? Okay. Will's already up out of there. Which man is going home next week? I don't know, but I would like to end this video with this. This is my little graphic that I'm gonna fill in right every week. So this week we have the person that got cut. Will, obviously. See you later. And then we have possible couples in the middle. Now, I did not include everybody that I listed that had a connection. These are just 2 couples that I think that we might have a possibility of seeing, but we don't know, because they have not met everybody has not met everybody yet. So we will see what happens with that. But then I also have the Red Flag Award, and Naeem definitely earned that this week. Okay, get in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.